Okay, good everyone. God bless you. I just want to make a very important announcement before we go further. From Monday to Wednesday, especially Wednesday, we're going to be giving calls to some of you to verify your project and to see how we can provide some advisory services to you. So this is the catch here. Please have a summary of your assignment, maybe 1 or 2 pages, and send to us through the WhatsApp, the school WhatsApp number +447586682227. I would like to repeat that +447586682227. Send us a summary of all your assignments, and then we're going to have a one-on-one discussion with you on how to help you navigate the process of building successful, scalable, and sustainable enterprise because it is important. Remember the 7S we talk about. Why strategies are important? You've got to put system structure and have the right synergy to succeed. We can all succeed if we build the right synergy. We can all succeed if we have the right structure in place, we have the right system in place. Everything is possible if you can just do what is needful at every given point in time. So I want to really thank every one of you. And I also want to apologize for we made there's so much restructuring going on, so we made mistake. We shifted. Actually, the faith-based enterprise was supposed to start by 15 minutes past 1 and every Friday. So please let's not make the error next week. We just continue from where we stopped this week. So I want to go straight to today's class. Okay, fine. One of the things we need to survive a faith-based enterprise is understanding resource management. How do you raise revenue, and especially a world where we see what is happening globally, is even the whole action of Donald Trump and you said international grant funding is shutting down all over the world. How do you build a social or faith-based enterprise in today's world? This is why resource mobilization and stewardship is very essential when it comes to faith-based enterprise. We understand there are conventional ways faith-based enterprise get revenue and the rest, but going beyond the church project and the church way of raising funds, how do you truly build sustainable source of revenue that can actually, for a long run, your vision and mission can still be implemented? This is what today's class is all about, talking about resource mobilization and then stewardship. So, redefining resources. You've got to understand there's something I want to share with us called the finger capital, the finger capital. We don't eat what is not there. If you do not understand resources, you're going to be limited in today's world. Today's world is not just talking about when we talk about resources to drive a system or to drive a vision, to bring a vision, you've got to understand resources can no longer be limited to just flow of cash in your organization, cash flow and the rest of that. Cash flow used to be the bloodstream of every organization, which is still very important in today. You cannot effectively run an organization without good cash flow. Every organization needs good cash flow. It's part of what business is all about. We won't talk about business operation and the rest of that. But resources has gone beyond having a good cash flow in an organization. It's your ability to understand what we call the FIRST framework. First, talk about FIRST. If you do not understand the FIRST framework, you're going to be limited in resources. Even we're talking about scarce resources in today's world. So I want to encourage every one of you to take into consideration what the FIRST framework is all about when it comes to resource management and how to raise that. We say many faith-based organizations think of resources only in terms of money. Biblically, however, money is only one of many kingdom resources. I've seen young entrepreneurs, even faith-based entrepreneurs, you ask them, why are you not doing what you're doing? They say, oh, I'm looking for money. I need to make money to do what God has put in my heart. And like I said, that's true. But if you go through scriptures, you're going to realize that none of these people actually allowed money to keep them from stepping forward to be what God has called them to do. So why is it that in modern era we think we need money to kickstart the vision? Or money, without any shadow of that, money is important. But you've got to redefine resources if you want to go far so that you are able to maximize all opportunity that bring resources your way, not just waiting for financial or waiting for liquid. You've got to be very careful. So God funds his work of faith-based organization, social enterprise, or what you've got to do through people. I said someone walked into my office recently is an Hindu, and he was trying to ask for an idea on how to raise revenue. And like I said, when you see people walking on the street, you're talking about money on 2 foot. This is money actually working. How do you create a connection between you and those people that resources are able to transfer from them to you, to what you're doing, transfer from them to your vision? Because money is in people. So you've got to understand people management. Wisdom is also resources. How can you kickstart a venture understanding that wisdom is the principal thing? You've seen many people have this training we're learning. If you have an open mind, you're going to realize that for so long you have limited yourself because all you think is money, not understanding resources transcend and cash flow. It's about understanding what resources is. The basic resources you need in any faith-based enterprise is people. When Jesus was to start his ministry, the first set of things he did was after prayer to raise 12 disciples, human resources. Raise 12 people that will share the vision and mission with him. Because if you do not do that, you're going to understand that even when cash comes in, it's going to be messed up. So you've got to ask yourself, what are the resources I need to drive a faith-based enterprise? The first thing is people. The second thing is wisdom. The Bible tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. And when we talk about people, you're now talking about relationships. What relationship is different from people. Relationship talks about your ability to connect, and there's something we're thinking about system thinking and design thinking. Relationship, how do you connect people with your vision or connect systems alike with your vision? So relationship goes beyond people. It's about system thinking and people management. And then we talk about obedience to God. We're going to look into some of these things. Now, I want to share something fundamental, which I call the FIRST framework. You can write that on your paper, FIRST, called FIRST. The first one is the financial resources. You need financial resources to survive, to succeed in any enterprise you're building, including faith. So you're going to ask yourself, how do you sit with your team together and ask yourself, how do we raise financial resources? The second resources is information. Information is so important that most people they think like what you people are doing now in this course is gathering the information you need. Information is the vital resources you need to succeed. You've seen people with a lot of money but lack information, and so they go into trouble. Do you have adequate information to drive that process? Do you understand the problem? Do you understand the solution? Do you understand what is all the requirement to run that enterprise? So the first is that's what we call the first financial resources, information resources. The third is, and you talk about arrow relationship. Relationship, what people do you have around you that have the skill set you don't have? That you need them, for instance, you need a legitimizer, you need a mobilizer, there are people that comes into your enterprise, like when you're setting up your board, there are people that if they're on your board, people will trust your organization well. They are called legitimizers. So ask yourself, who are your legitimizers? Who are the people that you need to bring into your board of advisor or your board of trustee or your board of directors? Who are the influencers that when you're putting up a program together, because they have a buy-in, they are part of your stakeholders, they have a buy-in to your vision. When they invite people, people will come. There are people that may not know you directly, but they know other people. Who are those people that you may not know certain people, but when they show up, other people, so they are influencers. You have mobilizers. You have, before you talk about the financiers and then the users. So relationship is that you are able to create network between the legitimizers, the influencers, the users. Who are the people that needs to use your service, your ideas, your products, your problem? Who are the people you are serving? All those talk stuff, they are resources. So you talk about financial resources, information resources, relationship resources, the people in your life. If you don't have that's why we talk about the stakeholder mapping. Who are the people that will help Sister Patricia to run the foundation? Who are the people that will help Father Gala to run the idea in his mind? Who does he have a list of those people? Some of them are coming in as legitimizers, some of them are coming in as mobilizers, some of them are coming in as financiers, some are coming, there are people that they are, because they are legitimizer in your board, it makes it easier for you to raise money. And do you have contact of the users that will use your service? All these are important in the third, in when we talk about the first framework, the resources and relationship. The fourth one, we have the FI. First is FIROS. What is S? S is the social capital. You cannot run a faith-based enterprise in today's world without a good social capital. Social capital talks about your understanding of the social implication of what you do. What is your social currency? Do you even, some people do not even have, you say you're trying to help people, but you don't have people's skills. If we ask how many people are related to what you do, you don't have up to 5 people. You don't have people that you don't have a Facebook page. That is why in the London School of Entry, we check your social framework. You don't have a Facebook page. You don't have a social skill. Social skill in today's world is a currency. It's currency. So you're going to ask yourself, resource you, who are your social skills? You see, people like Mercy, Ronaldo, and the rest of them, those are social capital. Human beings are social beings. So what is your social cap? So you must learn to maximize social capital. It is important. Then it is when you talk about the S, you go to the T. What is T? T talks about technical resources. There are people you bring into your board because of the know-how they have. They have technical skills. They could be, they have what you don't have. Most time people think in the Western world, you see a man has an idea that he wants to run into it, he wants to turn it into a profitable venture. He look for someone with the marketing skills. He looks for someone with a technical skill, a software skills, and then someone with an administration skills, and a strategy comes together, and 4 people build a global enterprise. That was what happened to Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg had the idea, but he looked out for his friends with different skills and they came on board. Some did not understand where it was going. So ask yourself, can you set up a business with 4 different skill sets where you look at someone and say, you know what, I want you to come to the board of my company. I remember there was someone once in Cameroon that wrote to me and said, I'm going to give you certain numbers of shares in my company. I'm a shareholder of that company in Cameroon today because the man said, I want your skills. I may not be able to pay you, but once the company prospers, this is your shares in this company. So I'm a director and a shareholder in a company in Cameroon. Now, how did I become a shareholder in that company? Because of my technical skills. So you've got to exploit resources management and you've got to think outside the box. So for those of you that are running your business, ask yourself, have I exploited the first framework? Because most of us stay with the ELF. That is all we look for. But the truth is this, you need the information as a resource. You need the what we call FIR, you need the relationship. Who are the people you need that you need the legitimizers and those you need. Then you need the what? The social capital. You got to develop your social capital. Why do you think rich people join club food and join golf club? and join associations. It's a social capital they are developing. Why do you think you see somebody like Otedola and Dangote are friends? For instance, if Father and this is running a program and is part of some social club or some association, he will invite his association and those people in it, they can invite their own friends. And so the rich people understand the power of social capital. They understand the power. That is why you must strategically invest in strategic relationships. There are relationships it is often among the poor that they don't invest in strategic relationships. So you see somebody wants to launch a project, but there's no one you can call that will help them without collecting money. That is a sign that you have bad social capital. There are people that will call me today to do something for them. I dare not think of the money. I dare not ask them for money because they have invested in my life. So what happened is that they have social credit with me. Ask yourself, who in your life have social credit with you? Who in your life have social credit with you? And so if you are not doing that, you must begin to invest in social capital because social capital can be converted into liquid, into financial capital. There are people that will take the hands of professor and take her to see a president of a country, all because she has a social capital with them. And these are all extremely important. Who are those people you have developed social capital with? For instance, attending someone's birthday, attending someone's child naming ceremony, going for someone's graduation. These are social investing you are doing. Buying people gifts on their birthday. These are social investing you are doing. It is a skill successful entrepreneur knows how to deploy. And I'll tell you, see them among themselves. If you can develop the first framework, you're going to realize that every time you want to do something, you will always have minimum of 4 people to start with because you have invested, you have carried out social investment in people's life. And that's why I always tell young investors, when you are starting a business or you are building your social capital, it's not everyone you see you ask for money. Who are the people in your debt that when you need something and you call them, they will pick your call because they are owing you for a favor you've done for them in the past. I say to people that I mentor, let people be in your debt, especially people that are so successful that when they want to pay something, they say, I do that. I know you want to give me £2,000 for a job, no. And I know you are worth more than £1,000,000 to me. I won't take money for that £2,000. I'll say, sir, this is on the house. What am I doing? I'm putting you into my debt. You are in my debt whether you like it or not. One day I'm going to ask you for a favor. It is a practical way of doing things. Most people don't have social credit. And if you're on this platform attending this class, check, do I have enough social credit? Are there people that I can can call today and they will show up even if it is in the middle of the night to do something for me? And that is important. So faith-based organization that master non-financial resource mobilization. All what I've shared is non-financial resource mobilization. We achieve greater sustainability in the future. Stronger ownership, because even when your business have crashes, you go into a problem, you can start again. They are able to multiply impact without heavy funding. And in 1 Peter 4, verse 10, it says, each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various form. Who is benefiting from your gift at this point in time? These are all part of social investing. So we talk about defining resource mobilization and non-financial. So because one area I'm trying to get us to see is to understand the power of non-financial resources in kickstarting an organization. Non-financial resource mobilization is the intentional identification, engagement, coordination, and stewardship of non-monetary assets to achieve your organization mission and impact. And these assets include people, skills. There are people that don't have money, but they can give you skills. Their skills can worth millions to you. So don't always, when you want to start business, think, oh, I'm looking for money. Ask yourself, when I don't have a financial resource, is there someone that is resourceful that I can partner with? You have people, you have skills. There are time. Somebody can give you the time. You have knowledge. There are people that have the knowledge you could pay consultants for. There's an Hindu guy in London. I have to challenge him today. The guy is so smart. He will come and meet me in my office here. He's a businessman, a financial businessman. He will come and meet me in my office. Say, can I take you to a restaurant? Let's eat. I'm like, you know why he does that? I say, oh, you want me to talk when we're eating so that you are picking my brain. Because when we're in the restaurant, he's asking me strategic questions. I want to do this. What do you think? I want to do this. What do you think? So today I was teasing him. He came today again to meet me in the office. Mr. Boniface, can we go to a restaurant? I said, I'm not going to any restaurant. I'm busy today. And I said, you're picking my brain without paying anything. He laughed. But that was a smart man. He understood the power of, so he's willing to pay for my meal, for my drink, so that we can have a chat. But in the chat, he's speaking wisdom that he knows it will cost him so much to get from a consultant. And that is a man that does not practice my faith. So you talk about, you've got to understand this asset include people, skills, time, knowledge, influence, networks, facilities. There are people that they can give you the facility to use before you get to where you go if you have maintained good relationship with. You don't have to rent your own place. There are people's place you can use for where you are going to. Do you know there are people that can give you an office you can use for years for your own NGO and you're not paying office space? For instance, there's a relationship someone can get with the London School of Global Entrepreneurship, work with us and use this office as his own London office. It is about networks, facilities, credibility, spiritual capital. All these are non-financial resources that can help you run your organization. So stop thinking, oh, I don't have money, I can't start. Why not explore your non-financial resources? Every time you think you are blocked, you'll be shocked how far it takes you. Most organizations have been stable because of the ability to manage non-financial resources. A classic example would be the Catholic Church. One of the strengths of the Catholic Church is the ability to manage the non-financial assets of the Catholic Church. Most people think it's the money. No. Understand the non-financial. And if you see most Pentecostal organizations that have grown so much, it is the ability of the general overseer to manage the non-financial resources of its members and reward them accordingly. So beyond money, there are people they may not have resources to give, financial resources to give to you, but they have knowledge. And when they give you knowledge, honor them for the knowledge they are bringing on board. Because sometimes we are abused and we think it's only those that gives us financial resources that they asset. No. You must learn to quantify what people give you in a monetary terms and honor them for that. It will take your organization far. What I'm trying to teach, I'm talking about more than 15 years experience, getting to 25 years to give you free consulting that can help you build scalable and sustainable enterprise. And don't limit yourself with just monetary resources. Now, we'll talk about biblical foundation for stewardship definition. How do you manage these resources to the good and to help people and to build that enterprise God has put in you? And the first one is that you need to understand what is the definition of stewardship. We said is the faithful management of resources entrusted by God for his purpose. You see, the earth is the Lord and the fullness. God will bring people your way. You may abuse those relationships and lose resources. Most time we don't know that the greatest asset to people are the non-financial resources. There are people in my life I don't joke with because I know they are worth billions to me. They are assets. And you must recognize those people in your life. They may never give you money, but they are assets to you. So understand how to manage. Most people abuse those relationships. And when those people leave your life, you struggle for a season. When they leave your organization, you struggle for a season because you dishonor them and you think the person that is giving you money is more important than those people. And so the people that go with the wisdom, go with the non-financial resources, and you begin to struggle. So learn to manage people, learn to manage all the resources we have mentioned, and don't be limited to just monetary resources. So let's begin to look at types of non-financial resources in faith-based organization. The first one is human capital, people and gifts. People and gifts. You've got to learn to understand people and gifts. This is a collective talent of skills, calling, capacity of people connected to your organization. Do you have their capacity to recognize this and people and gifts? It's key if you want to run a faith-based organization. There are people that are mobilizers. Have you recognized in your organization or in your pool of relationship? People that are mobilizers, people that are legitimizers, people that are knowledge bank by nature. So examples in most organizations, you have volunteers. You don't have to have large chunk of salaries to pay people. You have volunteers. You have professionals offering pro bono services. You look at people like that. You have retired expert mentoring youth. You can say, okay, I'm running a program for vulnerable women and this. Can I look for other people that may have skills, psychology, sociology, and if they can do a prono, this thing, it enrich the profile of your organization. You look at faith-based leaders offering guidance. So the key is don't just one of the things I've seen that have limited most organizations in Africa is that we are too driven by monetary resources. But in Europe, in the UK, they are driven by non-financial resources. You see volunteers, people volunteering their services, getting things done. And these are all extremely important if you want to sell. If you want to build an organization, explore all resources available to you. This is extremely important. Now, time is also a resource. Time is finite but powerful kingdom asset. Have time for your volunteers. A volunteer can come and do 2 hours in a week with you, or you have your mentorship time, you have your prayer commitment schedules, and all those things. All those things are important. The next one you want to look is your social capital, relationship, and trust. Because social capital, like I said, is the value embedded in relationship. Can people trust is there credibility in your organization? Do people trust your organization? Is your organization trusted in the community? You have relationship with local leaders. Most of you don't know the chief in your community. You have never visited the chief. And then you want to launch a program. You have never visited even the head of the youth, the park, the women. You've got a good social capital. And we have the alumni network. Trust open doors. Money cannot. I remember true life story. I'm going to say this very, very. I remember there was a time I was in Abuja, Nigeria, and I was driving my car, and then you have these people they call agberos. Because I stopped to pick someone in my car. Do you know that if you pick anyone, they're going to catch you? And the agberos there, what we call agberos in Nigeria then is what we call all this area for the touts in the UK, for those of you. So it's like they are touts, so they entered my car. Now, what happened that they took my car to a particular place in a place called Chabi in Abuja, those of you in Nigeria, and they impounded my car. But what happened is that as soon as my car entered that particular area, all the area boys, the tarts there, they all came out and began to scream, who brought Pastor Oba's car? You can't touch Pastor's car. You can't touch Pastor's car. I was laughing and I almost cried. You know why? Because when I come to that park to fix my car, I buy food and I invite those tarts to come and join me to eat. And even when they are drinking gari and granite, I will tell them to give me spoon and I will join them to eat. I didn't know I was building social capital with them. So this is what happened. They all gathered and say, it's Pastor Obaska, it's Pastor Obaka. People I don't even know. And the chief of the art bearers said, how come all of you seems to know this man? So they all began to share their various experiences with me. Do you know that the chief of the art bearer from that day became my friend? He had to apologize and said he didn't know I've been good to his people. Now, what did I do? Everywhere you go, you build relationship. You can never tell a time will come where it will count. You don't look down on people. You come to a point where you can relate with anyone, especially for those of you that wants to run a faith-based enterprise. You've got to engage with the community first in a way they can trust you. Because like the Bible said in Proverbs 22, verse 1, it says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. It is so important that you develop your social capital. Most people don't have social currency. You know, you can have all the money and yet people don't want you because you lack social capital. It is extremely important. Now, knowledge is the other and intellectual capital. This includes teaching expertise. You want to look at for people.
There are two in this.
You want to look at for people that have this skill set. You cannot say you want to run an organization, you don't have the right knowledge set, research data, cultural knowledge of where you are going. All these are important. You've got this advantage because I've seen most faith-based organizations get themselves destroyed because they lack knowledge of the community, the culture. They do not understand the people they are trying to help. You've got to understand that. Like there's something I discovered just a few days ago about the office here in London. And we decided we're going to change the face of certain things. We're going to remove some religious picture from our platform because when people come to your office and the first thing they see is a religious picture, they become defensive. So the idea is that we're going to remove everything that makes us look religious, and we're going to put conventional. They say, what do we do? We want them to come first, get to know us, trust us, and then fall in love with our faith. So we discovered that and said, okay, this is how these people think. Once they say, oh, is a Christian, they become locked up. You can't reach them again. They're defensive. But if you come as a social person, you're nice to them, and you're standing your faith, once in a while you talk Jesus, you go there, it's easier to get there. So a decision was arrived that we're going to change some of our design in our studio to make it so that everyone can come in and then they encounter the power of God. Because we are trying to reach a group of people, we cannot reach them by presenting a religious front. So you've got to understand the people you have been sent to and how to reach out to them. It is extremely important. So have a knowledge, and we're all learning. Like I told you, we just discovered this 2 days ago. And I said, okay, so we have to order for a new backdrop yesterday that is going to be beautiful, but you won't even know this is a Christian faith-based institution. Everybody can come in and then encounter the power of God. It's like you must understand the bait, the strategy for reaching people without being deceptive. So the other one is the spiritual capital. Who are the prayer network for you? The faith credibility, the moral authority, the hope and resistance. All this, most of you know, so I will not be going into that, but you need to understand your spiritual capital and take care of that. One of the things I want to encourage most of you, because we'll be discussing when we talk one-on-one, so I don't have money to run my organization. Learn to work through volunteer mobilization and management. It will help you take your organization to a whole new height. You've got to understand, extend organization capacity, build ownership, reduce costs. All these are important aspects. When, like, I think Mr. Pastor Emeka is on the platform. You're talking about your volunteer life cycle. How do you recruit them? You've got to orient them to buy into the vision and the mission of the organization. You've got to train them, you've got to supervise them, and you've got to recognize them when they're doing something good. So we call it the volunteer life cycle. Because you can't run as faith-based organization, it will be difficult for you to run everything by getting full-time staff. You do a lot with a strong volunteer team. I'm sure Pastor Israel is on the platform. He's been working with Christian Broadcasting Network for a long while. And he's going to tell you that the strength of the Christian Broadcasting Network is almost 80% volunteers and less than 20 to 10% full-time staff. But they go this thing, they follow this process: recruitment, orientation, training, supervision, and recognition. Even in a way, value your volunteers that you value your staff, your main staff, because the staffs are collecting salaries. Let the volunteer know that they are the bloodline of your organization. What you don't give to them with money, give to them by recognizing every effort. For instance, dinner time with volunteers and the family. Let them have a sense of ownership. Build a sense of ownership among your volunteer team. Visit them when they least expect, because that is because your strength as a faith-based organization is built around your volunteer. But oftentimes, most volunteers feel they are used. Have a surprise birthday celebration for a volunteer that people least expect anybody knows in the church. Someone that is all in your organization, where you and your team just one day on a weekend, you just visit maybe a person that volunteer in your organization. Let them have a sense of worthiness that that you value their time with you. From time to time, let them know that you can't do it without them because they are giving you something that you are not being paid for. And because of that, provide training opportunity for them to be better. Provide skills to them, get them stronger. But the whole essence is that give them a multiple sense of ownership. Because if you're going to run a faith-based organization, it is volunteer-driven. The staffs are like the core. Actually, this is what I tell faith-based organizations, that recruit your staff from your volunteers. If people can volunteer without money and they are faithful, then there will be good staffs. Let your volunteer become a pool through which you filter people that becomes the core part of the organizations as full-time staff. I've seen most organizations, I've learned from organizations that did not grow beyond where they are today because instead of them recruiting from their volunteers, they keep recruiting from outside. And it did not encourage the volunteer system. And the organization for years could not grow, could not attain its goal because they were still surviving based on charity from foreign country. Because they didn't understand that you must treat your volunteers more noble than you treat your permanent staff. Filter them, some of them will become full-time staff, honor them. So I want to encourage every one of you. Treat those of you running churches, those of you, you've got to have a different orientation with volunteers. They are the bedrock of faith-based organizations. Two set of people you don't joke with the faith-based, your volunteers and your board of advisors. Treat them like diamonds because they are. And having said that, talk about partnership as a strategic resource when it comes to running, because what we're treating today is what we call the non-financial resources in a faith-based organization. So partnership as a strategic resource is an international collaboration that leverage complementary strengths to achieve shared goals. I've seen people come to me and say, okay, they come to our organization and say, want to partner with us. And I've seen people that we give them almost every hours we can. We train, I for one train the institution, train the organization. But do you know that after I finish training them, they don't even call to greet me. The only time they call to greet me is the next time we have another program. Now I do this because I love the people that they have taken, because for me, I would have backed out from the partnership. But because I'm more interested of the souls I'm teaching, that's why I didn't back out. But that is a bad way of keeping a partner. Especially a partner that is not asking you for money. Don't do that for those of you running faith-based organization. Once in a while, surprise your partner. Especially because they're like volunteers that could have charged you thousands and thousands for the services they're providing you. So don't say, oh, because this person is my partner, celebrate them, give them gifts that they least expect. They don't need it, but it shows that you value them. Never let your partners think they are being used. I remember I have several organizations I partner with in the UK to help them succeed what they do. I remember when I lost my dad, some of them did not even bother to call. And I felt, I'm just being sincere with you here. I felt this is disappointing. Like, do these people really value what I give to them? Do they value what I give to them? Do they value the time I offer to them? Because people are human beings, they may not tell you. So why your partner may not take money from you, but there are things you will do, they will realize that you cannot be trusted. So you've got to be very careful with partners. Don't just use them. From time to time, treasure them when they least expect. Not because they need that, because everybody give more when they receive gratitude. Don't just say, oh, my partner doesn't like money. No, don't do that. Don't exploit people's niceness for anything. Be a blessing. They may never tell you, but I'll tell you the truth that it may limit if they have something to have given to you. They may not give you 100% again, they will give you like 10%, but you have limited yourself from the things you would have benefited from that partner. So don't have an attitude of dishonor. We call it dishonoring your partnership with people, whether it's paid partnership or unpaid partnership. Treat your volunteers and your partner. Let them have a sense that you you are who you are because they exist. So we have types of partnership. We could have church-to-church partnership. We have faith NGO partnership. We have faith business partnership, faith government collaboration. In everything, from time to time, you send a letter of appreciation. Like today, if you give our faith-based organization here in London, even if it's 20 pounds, we write you a letter of appreciation. We won't say, oh, it's just 20 pounds. Why is 20? No, no, no. The money belongs to them. They could have used it to take a cup of tea. You didn't. We write a letter of appreciation to everyone that gives us money because we are accountable to our partners. So, and partnership increases value, increases productivity. But most time you wonder why some people, I remember I've seen some people that I just understood why they cannot go far because they don't know how to treat partners. They don't know. They don't know. You know, sometimes you can just, they don't know. Like, I just talk about an Indo that calls me from time to time to say, I want to take you out for a restaurant to eat. I can pay for my own meal. But that he finds it that in my presence is so valuable to him that he wants to take me to an expensive restaurant. And he has been doing that since in recent days. So I knew, and like, so today he came and said, no, I'm sorry, I can't go out. But I admired his wisdom, his wisdom. So be wise, those of you starting a faith-based organization, don't joke with your partners, treasure them. Treasure, let them do things for them they least expect. They will pay you. You know, you can help someone out of a trouble and the person pay you for the rest of their life. Keep paying you, keep paying you, keep paying you. Because you have done something for them that touched them, that they can never forget. That even when you ask them for help for the rest of their life, they'll keep helping you because of that impact you made. And I'm speaking from the place of my heart and I'm trying to help every one of us here. Be there for people. So there are facilities, asset, and infrastructure. We have church halls. There are people, we have a campus here in London. I was speaking to my secretary, one of them recently. I said, there are people I could ask to come and use our office for free. And I had that plan in mind. So it's not everybody. You have church halls, you have classrooms, you have vehicles, you have equipment, you have technology. I remember there are people you ask them to. I remember there was someone I was supposed to give a office in our school for free. Then I invited the person to come and do something for me to bring his camera to come and do a recording. No, the person did not come. because the person was thinking, I just laugh. I like people can be short, circle in their thinking. You've got to understand certain things. You've got to be wise. You've got to understand how you invest in facilities. These are all infrastructure you can take advantage of. The Bible says they broke bread in their homes, where you understand the purpose of giving your space. Like we say, you may not give people money, but you could give them your church hall to use, your classroom to use, your vehicle to use, your equipment to use. And there are people you can also meet them and say, okay, I need your vehicle, I need your classroom. Can I do this? Can I do that? These are all non-financial assets you can work with people. Now, we'll talk about stewardship principles and for non-financial resources. You've got to be faithful, care for people, respect, honor, commitment. You've got to be careful with if people want to see how faithful you are. Accountability, clear rules. When you are for all this, let people know their volunteers, their partners, feedback system. Always give people feedback information. We're raising money in recently for a project here in London for the ministry. And every week I make announcement online. And some people are like, you are too transparent. I say, no, it's not about being transparent. It's about being accountable. Stay accountable, give feedback system, transparent use of gifts, excellence, train your volunteers, maintain your assets, document, system, avoid burnout. That's why you build system, build second line of leadership, and rotate responsibility. All these are important, how you manage stewards. And I hope some of you will look at these resources and deploy them. It's already in your student back office. But I noticed that some of you have not been going to your student back office to study. Common mistake in resources stewardship. You burn out volunteers. Don't use volunteers anywhere. Don't get upset. Ask them, will you be available? Is it okay for you? Don't just because they may not tell you, but they are burn out. And before you know it, they escape. Respect their time. Know that you are not putting them under salary. Don't get trap them and make them feel because they didn't show up there means they don't love the Lord. No, don't do that to them. Respect, know that they are also earning income. So respect, don't burn out volunteers. We see organizations, faith-based organizations, burn out their volunteers. Don't do that. Poor communications with your team, lack of appreciation, which I've talked about, holding control. You cannot give people responsibility and don't allow them to do it. There's no succession planning. I was speaking with one of my team leader. I was telling her that I have 2 years plan to make sure that someone take over my role. I like that, and that's the truth. You've got to have a plan. What's your succession plan? You've got to have succession in plan. Do you have somebody that is deputizing you, that is understudying you, how you do things? Do you have someone you, from time to time, when you have meeting, you deliberately send the person a link because you are studying the person, you are looking for successors. You are testing different people who will become the next director of program, who will become the next CEO, because you're grooming. You don't, once you start something, you start building succession plan in place, and that is important. Now, practical resource mapping tools, which I'd like to share with us today, is not financial resource inventory. Learners should map what the people and skills that you need, the time availability you need for people to fill, the network and partners you need, the facilities and tools you need. You'll be shocked that when you list this thing, there are people that may provide this for you without money. So don't just think, oh, I need money, I need money, I need money. Write them down and begin to ask yourself, where can I source this at, even if I don't have money? You'll be shocked how things will fall in line for you. Most people are still holding on to their vision because they think they need 4 million to kickstart. No, there's what we call the resources mapping tool. Just list everything you need, and you'll be shocked how you can get them from resources and start your vision. So, as we begin to round up this section today, the next 5 minutes, list 10 people connected to your organization and their skills. Write it down. This is your week 5 guidance. Identify 5 potential partners that can help you succeed in your foundation or your NGO. Map available facilities or tools you need. Can you get it from people? Can you lease it? Can you rent it? Or can design a volunteer engagement plan? How do you engage volunteers? What skill set do you need? So your week 5 assessment is already on your student back. You have it there. Learners must submit a 2-3-page resource planning, including non-financial resources inventory, volunteer mobilization strategy, partnership approach, and then we talk about stewardship principles you want to adopt. Because in conclusion, God rarely sends money to replace people. He sent people to unlock provision. The money you are looking is in someone's hand. Faithful stewardship of non-financial resources is kingdom intelligence. That is how you truly you come to that point where you can truly step into kingdom resources. Having said that, I come to an end. Like I said, I want to encourage every single one of us to please, as much as you can, ensure that you submit your assignment, your 1st to 4th week assignment on the student WhatsApp number. Type your name, because from Monday to Wednesday, we're going to be calling you to ask you, how can we help you? What do you think we should do? And you tell us the challenge you're going on in setting up your business or your NGO. And we're going to be providing free advisory services for only those that submit to the WhatsApp number. +44 758 668 2227. The one you send to the email is for record purposes. We want to see you send us to +44 758 668 2227, 222, not 22. So let me just repeat that: +44 758 668 2227. Now, once we get that, we're going to be invited. You're going to make a call on WhatsApp. Then we're going to just have a chat and see how we can better help you succeed in building a successful, scalable, and sustainable enterprise. Is there any question, contribution, or comment? The floor is now open. Question, comment, contribution before we close?
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate this class. The portion that is actually really very truly to me is the aspect of having volunteers, and sometimes they are taken for granted, and then they are treated anyhow. I observe that sometimes you can still have some workers who are so dedicated to the work that, in fact, they are just like volunteers too, and there are very few anyway. You can just find maybe 1, 2, or 3 establishments, very, very few. Now, some of these persons, you find out that they are over, how do I use it? Which word do I know? They are overworked. This burnout stuff they are talking about now. And they are not able to say, okay, I'm tired, or I want to go on leave, another. 10 chances to 1, you even find out that if they are not there, any day they are not there, there is stress in the system. You just feel immediately that somebody is not there, something is lacking. So it becomes very difficult to say, okay, such persons should not be, on ground at any point in time. So I'm just looking at it that it might be an extra attention. It might take an extra attention from whoever is in charge to see that if such a person is given maybe a day or 2 to just take a rest, you have to be on your 10 toes to see that that lacuna is not created until the person returns. You understand? And if it happens that something takes you out of that, and that person is not there, so there are just some persons that you just can't do without. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get your point.
So many people have made themselves irrelevant, even in the system where they are receiving salaries. When they are not there, you don't even feel their absence. And they are far, far more than those who are really relevant in the system. And those people do more than what they should be doing. Again, if you are looking at it from an administrative perspective, and that's okay, the salary of so person should be raised to a certain level. When those who are auditing or those who are checking, those who are in charge or whatever, they now come around, they say, this person has this qualification. Why is the salary like this? And you are giving this explanation of this dedication that is being put in there, that the person is able to stand in at some point that no other person is able to. Sometimes those people don't understand that language. All what they are looking at is, this is the qualification, this is what the person should get. Why is it like this? The next thing, they're shouting fraud, fraud, fraud. So because of that, the person, giving the person a higher remuneration, may have some challenge. But I just feel that maybe another way of getting the person rewarded, just as you were saying, do some things. So I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at the way the whole situation is.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Actually, what you need to do is, one, set up your standard operating procedure that talks about why people are rewarded in your system. Now, you from day one in running a faith-based organization, you've got to set up your SOP. And so in your SOP, you have the reason for reward, how you reward people for work done. And so you've got to make it a systematic thing. That is one. Two, the next thing you want to do is to ensure that beyond once you notice someone is efficient, you want to build a system where you can replicate the person. And so the thing is that always build system around efficiency. It's good to build people, but always build system around efficiency. It may take a long while, but build system around efficiency. It will solve that problem. Because you can, no matter how good people are, because that's how people get burned out. They just begin to use them, and after some time they just get tired and fall sick. What happens? So once you discover this person is efficient, you want to ask the person, can you bring someone under your tutelage? Can you tutor someone? Or you yourself deliberately begin to give the person an assistant that can be learning from the person? So always build a system around efficiency. Once you discover efficiency, build a system around efficiency. It helps to grow the system. I think that will help. But set up a standard operating procedure so that you have a system that reward when people meet certain conditions. And once that is done, you can always show that to anybody that comes in, that this is a system of reward we have in our school, in our institution, and it works that way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Pastor Emeka, let's hear from you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Once again, very insightful time, and I have learned a lot from this. I'm actually doing a program that started yesterday, and I call it Bread Summit, and I do it in the month of May.
Okay.
And the bread, there's a B is business, relationship, equipping, attitude, and development. So I call it Bread Summit. So it's more like raising the next generation of leaders. And I'm bringing somebody, in fact, the person speaking today, the topic I gave to the person was strategic collaboration and social currency. Because this pastor is coming from House on the Rock, and the House on the Rock, Port Harcourt, that Larry Olusanya, he has done very well for himself. 2 weeks ago, he had a conference they called Convergence, and he brought business people to come and speak. So I love it. That's what I'm bringing. I'm not bringing because I can't really host him. If you look at the capacity of my branch, but I leverage on relationship because my pastor knows him. My pastor used to bring him. So I asked my pastor, can I talk with him? And he told me when I went to meet him, he said, if your pastor approves, I will come. And he's coming here tonight. People are wondering, some of the other branches of Gateway are wondering, that means this branch has so much money to host this person. And from this teacher, I just found out that it was actually social capital or spiritual capital, anyhow you want to put it. So I want to thank you so much for this you have done. And my worry at times when I do conferences like this, because this is the 3rd year I'm doing it, this season 3, is that most church members are just looking for what they're asking. They're asking other people, is our lead pastor actually coming on Saturday? Because they just want prayer. And you see that people buy in things like this. It's very minimal, but I don't actually care. I know what I'm driving at. I'm not here to impact everybody. I have a class of people I'm targeting as many that can buy in. I'm saying that what we are learning today I just pray that maybe next time this thing will be around, an opportunity to be given for us to also invite our friends. Some of my friends I was telling them about this, they were thinking it's something that just want to feed them with knowledge and ends there. But this is very practical, and I want to thank you for it.
Yeah.
I want to ask, what do we really do about this stewardship principle of non-financial resources, particularly our volunteers? In fact, this afternoon, I had to write a very strong note to one of my volunteers who just resigned abruptly. And now, when he saw that this program was coming, he showed up again. I wasn't happy. And some of my leaders were asking, this person say he has resigned. How come he's still dishing out instruction on the directorate? He's actually my multimedia volunteer person. So I had to write a strong message. I said, first, thank you for serving and all that you have done. Yes, you didn't say you are leaving the directorate.
Yes, coming. Coming.
I wouldn't want you to be the one.
Sorry.
What I want to say, because
today, introduce. Hello, this is one of our future volunteers. So she's saying hi.
You're welcome.
That's good. Okay, so she just came in. So let's go on.
So what I'm asking, because this afternoon I had to write a strong note on the platform of the multimedia online directorate of my church. In fact, the note, my response to his resignation, I was waiting for my admin to do it, but I said, no, let me not wait again, because some persons yesterday were really getting out. What is happening? Why is this person still calling the shots in the directorate? Because we had a big major program. Yes, it's good, but I had to write a strong. I said, well, given that you have resigned, I've accepted your resignation. With going forward, your assistant takes over as the acting directorate head, and everybody should line up to respond, maybe take instructions from him. So I was thinking, once in a while, I can also want to weave this sentiment. Was I too strong?
No. This is it. Actually, you're not wrong. What you need to do in every good organization, you work with your standard operating procedure. Once you have your SOP, your SOP talks about the rules of engagement, the rules of disengagement. And you're going to ask, even if you're a director in the organization, if you do this, you're off the hook. And this is the punishment if you're coming back. Because that is why we said one of the challenges we have with organizations in Africa is that you have strong men, not strong systems. So you've got to, for every one of you, you've got to build strong system in your organization. It's so important that the people don't take situations like this on a personal note. They just know that this is the organization decision, this is the framework, so that even if you are not there, the whole essence is this is continuity. If, for instance, you have to be transferred to someone else, someone will still come and implement the same decision, and the person will know that this is not because this man ate the way I look. It is a framework. It is a design and by system. So you should stand your ground.
I actually quoted our SOP, because we have what we call workers' code of conduct, and it says if you are disengaging, it is 1 month notice you give to the church. So he didn't give out; he's just disengaged, even though he says he still works there, but he doesn't want to work as the head. So I just said, well, given our workers' code of conduct for volunteers and the rest of the, you did not give us notice. You just, in fact, I said, you resign abruptly without recourse to the state of the directorate. That's my tone. And I said, because of that, you're not supposed to come and just walk in.
Stand your ground. Yeah.
So that's what I just said. Thank you, sir.
Don't feel bad about it. The organization should be bigger than everyone.
Not at all, sir.
Yeah, that is good. Well done. Congratulations. That's a nice decision. Is there any other person that wants to make comment before we call it today? So if there's no further, okay, I can see your conversation, Father. Thank you. I know you're not feeling so well, but we've read it. We appreciate your conversation. You take care of yourself. Make sure you take good care of your health. So please, every one of you should submit your assignment week 1 to week 4. Then we'll be having a one-on-one conversation with all of you between Monday and Wednesday. Till we see you again, do take care of yourself. Bye for now.
Thank you. We
Okay.
appreciate this. Thank you.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye.